came out, and I remember, but you know, some of the guys that were auditioning, it was so weird because everybody was talking about, you know, I hear the gig pays well, you know, it's a good opportunity or whatever, career opportunity or whatever. And all I was thinking is, you know, here I am, I've been wearing a Yankee jersey, you know, I'm a fan of the Yankees. Like to me, that jersey is sacred ground, you know, to put Yankee pinstripes on. And, you know, my hero's Thurman Munson. I'm a catcher. And now I'm standing in the same spot where Thurman Munson stood.
I get it.
So for me, that's how sacred it is.
I get it.
To me. So
as a Sabbath guy,
yeah, and
it.
Like for everybody else,
and Ozzy with Rand. I mean, come on.
But a lot of other people, they were just like, yeah, whatever, you know, take it or leave it. I think it's a good paying gig.
Well, to make you laugh, real quick, we just tried out. We needed a guitar player, so we said we'll take anybody. We got 10,000 people submitted to be our new guitar player, and you know, you go through the list and you pick people who got a little bit of a resume, and you could just see people coming through the door. It's just a gig, and you're like, this is my life, motherfucker. You know what I mean? Like
that they, you know, somebody, if they grew up loving the Oakland Raiders and now they're an Oakland Raider, you know, so it's just
you could just tell some people it was just another gig. It was weird to me. It was like, where's your heart in this? Like if you don't like my music, you probably shouldn't be here. You know what I mean? It's like
without a doubt.
Like what is that? So I get it. Like you as a fan, particularly of Sabbath, like, you must have been like, oh my God.
Yeah, I was just hoping to get an autograph and a picture with Ozzy. I can't even believe this is happening. You know what I mean? So, yeah, it was just.
So did you audition with the band? Like who was the band?
Yeah, I played with Randy Castillo was there and Phil Susan and Phil.
I hung out with
Randy.
Randy a couple times. What a lovely guy.
Amazing. Randy was awesome. And Phil's a great guy too. I mean, you know, I hung out with. They made me feel real comfortable, and they were like, "Yeah, Zakk, why don't we do Suicide Solution? We'll do Crazy Train, Bark at the Moon, or whatever. You know, I don't know." And I was like, "Yeah, let's do it."
Any singing or just the band?
No,
playing instrumental?
just playing. You know, Oz wasn't there yet, and then they had me come back the next day. And that's when I met Ozzy. And, you know, Oz was like, Zakk, just play with your heart and change your pants. Something smells in here. It was after I crapped my pants. And then, you know, and then Oz goes, and then Zakk, go make me a ham sandwich, but go light on the mustard. The Coleman's is a very powerful mustard. It'll overpower the sandwich. So ever since then, I've been making ham sandwiches for the boss, I always say, and going light on the Coleman's.
Yeah.
But I mean, no, but he just, Oz was super cool and everything was great. And then, you know, but it was so funny because Ozzy had said to me, he goes, have I met you before? And I was like, unless Oz saw me, you know, when on the Bark at the Moon tour, when Motley Crue opened up for him, when we saw him at, it was either at the Garden or the Spectrum. And it was just like, and Oz saw us going nuts under the mezzanine level or whatever. Maybe that's the only place you could have seen me. But he was just like, no, I've seen you somewhere before. Where, and Oz goes, I know where I've seen you. He goes, because Oz never went through any of the tapes. He'd just be like, Billy, Zakk, sort out the guitar, you know. And when you get down to the final guys, I'll come down and say hi.
Sure.
So, but I guess, you know, my sister took a Polaroid of me on my mom and dad's porch, right? And Ozzy said he looked at it and he goes, oh, look at this little kid. He must really love Randy Rhoads. Which we do, still do, always will. But, yeah, but he was just like, I guess that's, Ozzy goes, now I remember where I saw you. Because that was the only picture of, you know, of all the cassettes that I actually took a look at. Because we're sitting on the kitchen counter in our house.
He's probably walking by.
And he was, he goes, oh, look at this kid, must really love Randy Rhoads. He goes, I didn't think anything of it. And then that's where I remember seeing you.
So you step into this crazy world, Ozzy land. You know.
Well, put it this way: when I first joined the band, right, it was just like, I remember going, obviously when we were in England and we started writing, and nobody would want to hang with Oz because I was the only one that wanted to hang with him and drink. So, and that's why Mom eventually started calling us the Gruesome Twosome, right? So, you know, like I remember Bobby Thompson, God bless his soul, Bobby'd known Ozzy since like because he was working with Nazareth back in the '70s and everything, and he knew Ozzy from Sabbath, and you know how everybody knows everybody in
Especially
different
in
crews.
England.
Yeah, and everybody knows everybody. And then they, you know, they were working with, you know, if they were working with Alice in Chains, now they're out with, you know, Smashing
Yeah.
Pumpkins. Then they're out with Black Label. Then they're out with, you know,
Yeah, sure.
Ozzy, and everybody's, all the crew guys are in, knows everybody. So they're in different camps. So he started working with Oz when Oz started with Randy and playing the clubs and doing everything like that. So then he was, now he's talking with me, and I'm drinking with the boss, and he goes, Zachy, you don't want to. You don't want to go drinking with Oz. I go, but I like drinking with Oz. And he goes, Zachy, you don't want to get into the web. Stay out of the web. You know, because he said, because basically what Oz would do was just go, you know, Mom would always go like, who were you out drinking? Well, I was out drinking with Billy last night and Zachy and Bobby, you know, so then he'd throw everybody under the bus.
Yeah, it's your fault.
So Bobby's saying, stay out of the web.
Yeah.
But I never got out of the web. I would
Yeah.
always stay with Oz, and we'd go drinking all the time. But yeah, but it was pretty hilarious though, man. But Mom called up Barbara Ann, my girlfriend at the time, my wife now, right? And he goes, Barbara Ann, can I speak with you? And Barb's like, why, of course, Mrs. Osbourne. And he goes, does Zachy have a drinking problem? And she goes, oh no, Zakk drinks milk and stuff. And he goes, well, he does now.
Oh my God.
But anyways, yeah, so, whereas my other friends, all my buddies went to college, I went to Ozzy Osbourne University, where I graduated in cocktails and the art of drinking, you know what I mean?
Were you, because I've been around Ozzy a few times and worked with Tony a bit. It's like, it's hard not to ask them the 8,000 questions that you, I know you've known for so long now it wouldn't matter, but when you're first starting with somebody, did you resist the temptation or did you want to jump in?
Oh, no, I jumped right in.
I love it.
There was no,
I love it.
no resistance
Were you
whatsoever.
doing like, on Sabbath, Bloody Sabbath, were you doing that stuff?
Oh, no, as far as, yeah, Oz would tell me all the stories. So, like, here I am, like, mega super fan of Satin, because Sabbath's my favorite band, and then him starting with Randy, and then I love Jake, and then I mean, they're just all his solo stuff, and now I'm in the band.